In the last years, AI changed massively the way of working. For me as a software developer, particular GitHub Copilot had the biggest impact on my daily work in programming. That is probably similar for many other software developers. So in my working environment, there have been some surveys, and I want to share with you the results, how my colleagues and other guys use and like GitHub Copilot. Welcome to my channel, Agile Coding. My name is Elmar Brauch. I'm software developer and architect. If you are new in my channel, please don't forget to subscribe. And if you enjoy the content, give me a thumb up. So let's jump into the survey results now. The survey has been done with developers who are actually using GitHub Copilot, and over 80% of those developers said that in some way they benefit from using GitHub Copilot. That doesn't mean that they like every feature, but there is at least one feature they like, or they like all the features, as I do, for example. As a consequence of this good statistic, it's like more than 50% of the developers are using GitHub Copilot in their using it every working day. Of course, there might be developers who are not coding every day, so they might not use it every day, but still most of the developers in my area are using it every working day. And the good thing is that there are not so many developers who have to do a lot of other things every day. Yeah, based on that, in my area, 70% of the developers say that they are faster since they have GitHub Copilot. We didn't quantify exactly how much faster we are. Yeah, when I talk to people, they give typically different numbers. In my team, we had a number around 20%, but that doesn't mean that it is like everywhere with the same value. In other big German IT companies, there was also a survey, and the result was that the developers there are saving 30 minutes every day due to the usage of Copilot. Again, they said also it's like there are people who save more time and people who are saving less time. So it's the average value. So in this other company, in their survey, 87% of the GitHub Copilot users are satisfied and want to continue using GitHub Copilot. They said also like it's an easy tool to use. That was the result of 93% of the users, which is a very strong result. It has been developed and made very good so that it's really nicely integrated in the IDE and super easy to use. I totally agree about that. And if you are new to it and you have issues with it, I still want to share with you for 70% of the GitHub Copilot using developers, they say the skill improved over time. So if you have issues at the beginning, keep that in mind. It might get better. So what are the typical use cases for developers? We have like top use cases here, and the most developers are using it for code generation, which includes the writing of repetitive code. Now that is the main and most important use case, but of course you can use it also to generate your tests or your unit tests. So that is also something what most developers do, and also a big part of the software developers are using it to understand existing code, so they let GitHub Copilot explain existing code. In the survey in my environment, other topics have been named, like clean code and refactoring, but this didn't get so many votes as the three cases which I marked as top cases. Yeah, so that is somehow a middle voted case, and there are also edge cases like code translation, if you change, for example, Java code into Python code, or if you go from a classic programming language to a modern programming language in terms of getting rid of legacy code. Yeah, that is also an important case for GitHub Copilot, but I guess that is not something what most of the developers do every day. So code translation is more an edge case, even if GitHub Copilot is strong in it. The same is for performance tuning. That is also something what we don't do every day. So I consider it as an edge case, but GitHub Copilot can support you in that. And finally, the fixing of security issues was also asked, and a few guys are using it for that. So I was thinking about missing categories, yeah, and talked also with some co-workers. So we identified some more things. Of course, if you're doing the fixing of the security issues, you can also say bug fixing in general is a GitHub Copilot use case, and that's true. You can use it for bug fixing. So I think that is like not such an edgy case because it includes in theory also the fix of security issues. It works also very well for documenting the code. If you have to write Java doc, yeah, most of this work happens automatically by GitHub Copilot, so that you don't need to document anything, which in general questions the use of this documentation, but that's another topic. You can use it very well for documenting the code. And then for me personally, the most important feature is chatting about technical issues. If I have an issue with my code, I get a strange exception message with a strange stack trace and have no idea how to solve it, I can just take it, pass it into the GitHub Copilot chat and ask about it. Let me explain the issue and how to solve it. And for me, this works particularly very well, so I'm very happy about this feature. And of course, also again pretty similar to it, I do way less often Google search. I have to leave less often my IDE. I can start first asking the GitHub Copilot chat about how to use this and that third-party library, or how to do this and that, for example, the parsing of a CSV file. That was my first case where I used it. And yeah, that is another important use case. So that are the results of our surveys. I am still very happy to use it. I'm a big fan of GitHub Copilot and I recommend everyone to try it. The way of software development changed and GitHub Copilot really brings us to the next level. So if you enjoyed my content, please give me a thumb up and watch my channel, because next time I will speak about complaints about GitHub Copilot and how I react on those complaints. See you.